Hi, it's Phil here from Spokes Education. I've been doing a series of videos on going from freelance to agency, and more recently on the kind of realities and some of the kind of difficulties I've come across on my journey. And today I'm going to talk about one of the things I've struggled with the most, and that is delegation. One of the things that it is really, really difficult when you go from being a one-person band to a team is thinking about who does what and those kind of roles and responsibilities. And historically, if you've been a freelancer for a while, you've been doing everything. You've been doing, from an e-learning perspective, you might have been doing the learning design, you might have been doing the graphic design, you might have been doing development, you've been doing all your business stuff, you've been doing your accounts, and all of a sudden you've got somebody else to help you, and it's deciding about how you kind of utilize them. And I've talked in one of my previous videos about building a team, and I talk a little bit about this. But actually the reality of being able to delegate and letting go of something is actually really, really difficult, because again, like I said, this will feel like your baby. It will feel like you don't want to let anything go because you want to make sure it's all done properly. However, you've got to recognize where your strengths are and where you might benefit from someone else's help or expertise. For me, my role, like I said, it's shifted completely, and obviously I was doing a lot of kind of hands-on work previously. My skill set doesn't necessarily lie in the creative side of things, in the technical side of things. I'm okay, I can hold my own, but there's people out there that are much better than I am. The thing that I'm good at is more of that business side, and that project management side. And what my role has therefore shifted to kind of take on this kind of role of running the business and heading up the kind of delivery side of things. I know a lot of people out there, particularly freelancers, are actually a little bit different to me in the sense that actually their strengths lay within the doing and the creative side, and not so much in the business side. So I think I've been quite lucky in the sense that actually this has fallen quite nicely for me, and I've been able to kind of take on those big decisions from a business perspective, because I feel like I'm equipped to do that, and I feel like that's kind of within my comfort zone. If you're coming from a different side and your comfort zone is very much not in the business, and you're much more a creative type of person, I imagine it's going to be much harder for you to give some of that stuff up and give some of that business side of things up. Again, it's hard for me to talk about because I've come from a different angle, but you still need to think about, I've needed to think about giving away some of that kind of creative control, because like I said, I know that that's not my strength. I know that people are better at it. And again, this comes back to building the team, and I've talked a lot in that about finding people you can trust, and that is going to be huge for you. Finding those people you can trust, finding people where you kind of go, you know what, if I leave this with you, I know you're going to take care of it. I know you're going to do a better job than I am. And it's almost coming full circle to those conversations at the start. But what you will feel, inside you'll feel that kind of anxiety of giving something away and losing control of something. And I was watching a show the other day, I was listening to a YouTube video from a guy who ran a very successful business, and he decided to step aside from being the CEO and actually went and did a creative role, even though he built this business up and he was the CEO for a long, long, long time. And actually, he recognised that he was therefore limiting the company in his limitations of what he could do in that role, and identifying actually he was better positioned somewhere else. And he actually gave up a lot of responsibility and a lot of that stuff to somebody else or to other people. And it's a difficult thing to do. But again, if you want to kind of go on that journey and sort of step away from working on your own and working in a team, it's something, again, you need to start to come to terms with, and something you need to start thinking about now, saying, okay, what am I going to be happy to give up? What areas am I better placed myself in, and what areas do I need to find that extra help and expertise in? And kind of start to come to terms with that as soon as possible, in terms of, okay, I'm going to prepare myself to give that side up. And again, like, a lot of that will come down to the trust you put in the people and the trust you can gain from the people. And so once you've got that, I've got that now. I'm so lucky in the team we have now. I can trust them. I can just say, I had a conversation the other day with somebody. I said, this is exactly the type of thing that I would hate to, that I would typically hate to give up, and I feel like I need to have control of this because this is such a big part of our business and what we do. However, I've completely stepped aside from it and given it to somebody else whom I trust, and knowing that the job will be done and it will be done well, and I can still have an input into it. I can still be part of it, but I'm going to just not, and I've made a conscious decision to actually, try and not get involved unless I've been asked to be involved in it, and kind of practice that, letting things go, because ultimately where I want to get to is for the company to be able to run itself without me, and it feels like it's getting to that point now. And again, it's hard to kind of to take that kind of view and step back and kind of go, oh, right now, I've worked hard to get it to this point, and I'm just going to kind of let it go a little bit. And yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about that fully. And like I said, I don't think I'll ever really fully let it go, but I kind of feel like it's now, it's not my business now. It very much feels like it's our business, and that kind of has been dissolved, and responsibility has been dissolved across the company. And I can pick and choose what, where my value is added, and I can kind of step back from where I feel other people's value is added more. So yeah, just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit, and just again, it's something you need to think about and make sure you're something you're prepared for, because it will come and it will hit you, and it will hit you hard, and it takes quite a bit of strength to kind of step back and kind of not be involved in something and put trust into somebody else. Like I say, it's something I'm working on still, but I feel like it's getting there, and the company benefits as a result. It wouldn't be beneficial if I had my, it wouldn't be beneficial to the company if I had my beak in everything, and it certainly wouldn't benefit me if I felt the need to be involved in everything. I just don't have the time or energy to do that. So I think that's it for today. Thanks again for listening. As always, you can like and subscribe to our video if you want to check out any other things in this series or anything else on our development processes, etc. Any questions, as always, feel free to get in touch. Always happy to talk to people. Otherwise, thanks again, and see you next time.